What am I on? I'm on my third character. This is the tank. I'm on the wrong tab. Here we go. You can see I've done something strange here, and I've taken Summoner. I specifically took the Synthesist Summoner. The idea here being that the Synthesis Summoner, the Eidolon, gives me more hit points and some abilities. So this will make sense as I explain it. But yeah, normally you would expect your tank to be wearing heavy armor, and the Synthesis just precludes that, makes it so it's not a thing. I think, yeah, I'm already fused with my Eidolon, so all of my stat block here reflects that. In this case, I'm a human. I'm an Arcadian, apparently. I'm sure there's a reason for that. I usually choose an ethnicity. Um, Sometimes that's driven by a specific feat choice. We'll review that in a second. I suspect in this case I thought Arcadian was neat, and so I selected it. Um, Phrasma. Actually, I wanna highlight this. Phrasma is the goddess of birth, death, fate, and prophecy. It's a true neutral deity. Um, this is a very fatalist sort of tank, right? Um, believes in things ending and beginning appropriately in their own time. Um, yeah, I don't know. It just kind of tickled me to have a fatalist or a nihilist tank. You'll notice something funny here about my stats. That's because I am fused with my Eidolon currently. This tank has no strength, no dexterity, and very small amount of constitution. The trade-off for that is that I can have average intellect, very high wisdom, and I can max out my charisma. And then I get to use the Eidolon stats. I get to use 16 strength, 12 dex, and 13 con, which is pretty good. I get some spells. Detect magic, guidance, mage hand, read magic. Pretty much staple stuff here. Ant Hall. Um, I feel like with the 16 strength, having Ant Hall at my disposal is helpful. And compel hostility. Um, if the person next to me is attacked, as a reaction, I can compel hostility and I can be attacked instead. This is my tanking mechanic. Is there anything else here we need to go over? Not really. It's a fused Eidolon. It's synthesis. You should already know. I took bluff no, I didn't take intimidate. I considered taking intimidate. I took heal, stealth, use magic device. This stealth one is weird. When I go over the Eidolon, that'll make a little bit more sense. Um, the idea with bluff is again that I can feint, and this is something that I want to use to make people look at me in combat. Right? I am the tank. I want you to be paying attention to me. So make myself seem like a bigger threat. Make myself seem like the only threat. Whatever it takes. I considered using intimidate for that. Obviously, I decided to put points in bluff instead. Um, I took Fey Foundling. This is a feat that makes it so that when people cure me, they cure me better. As a tank, that's all I want. I took a point for extra evolution. Again, when I go over the Eidolon, that'll make sense. Um, I took Lonely as my drawback here. -2 on sense motive checks and on perception checks to see through disguises against saving charm. Man, I really just like I want to be part of a group. I want to when people lie to me, I want to believe them. I want to think that that person really does have my best interests at heart, or wants to be my friend, or is the person that they are pretending to be. And again, this whole idea of the like fatalist nihilist tank who is just like on the fringes of his social circle, it really appealed to me, right? Like he's not just a defender of the realm sort, right? He's kind of like a, a nerdy tryhard. Um, this is like there's this saying that stand-up comedians do stand-up comedy because it's cheaper than therapy. Um, that's this tank, right? He tanks because he's kind of broken inside, and so all of this is to reflect that. Blessed touch. This is a better, again, more better healing, and he stealths better. Um, he's got a slam attack from his Eidolon. That's primarily what he's going to be using. And I can't wear armor because fusing with my Eidolon makes that not viable. So, one of these buttons, here we go, takes me into the Eidolon. I didn't pick the Eidolon's ability scores, they just come baked in. Same with the attack. There's a variety of bipeds, but they start with claws, or you get hooves or pincers. I took slam. I just like that better. And then I took Shadow Blend and Shadow Form. So what Shadow Form does is it gives me a permanent 20% concealment, or 20% mischance from concealment. Um, it makes it so that I can fight incorporeal creatures, but I only deal half damage to corporeal creatures, which fine. Damage isn't my most important thing about this character. Basically, being between the party and a problem and never dying. That's the focus of this character. And then here's the other part, Shadow Blend. If I didn't already have 20% mischance, I would get 20% mischance, but because I do have Shadow Form, 20% mischance, it becomes 50% mischance. That applies in any condition other than bright light. So as long as I'm not outside in the middle of the day, um, from dusk till dawn, or underground, or indoors, the only thing that causes me a problem is the daylight spell. This is specifically bright light, not normal light. So a torch or a candle or a lamp, they all shed normal light. So in most of the places that an adventuring party will typically go, there's a 50% chance you don't hit this guy. And that is why I took a level of summoner for my tank. Okay. We'll click through real quick, but I think we saw everything else that was interesting. I'm already fused. You can see I have 9 hit points. My Eidolon has 11 hit points. One of the features of the Eidolon... where are we? Here we go. Fused Link. Whenever the temporary hit points from his Eidolon would be reduced to 0, the summoner can, as a free action, sacrifice his own hit points, basically to refuel the pool. So the goal is to basically, when the Eidolon gets hit, spend my own hit points in order to keep the fusion going. So, I'll jump over here, and we'll look at the level 5 version of this character. I'm all over the place. So you can see I switched to Monk. I can't wear armor. I'm using a natural attack. Monk makes sense to me. None of that changed. It's not interesting. Yep, none of that changed. Did I not spend my point? Oh, I did. I spent it on Constitution. Yeah, that makes sense. So now I get a Constitution bonus. I didn't take a Monk Vow. I just didn't like any of them. Bonus feats, I took Dodge for +1 AC. I took Deflect Arrows because if you're a melee character, the ability to not be 100% at the mercy of ranged attacks is good. All of my standard Monk features here. Summoner didn't change at all. My skills just went up. I have points in Sense Motive, but I probably actually want to move them to Intimidate now that I'm thinking about it. But anyway, I still don't have an opinion on what my last trait would be. You can see I have a regular unarmed strike in addition to my slam here. Assuming I only make one attack in a turn, slam is better. If I'm gonna get my flurry, then the unarmed strikes are better. I still can't wear armor. I didn't really worry about gear. Now, with this character, because I can't wear armor, I should look at my feats again. Because I can't wear armor, what I would want to do is get the braces of armor, amulet of natural armor, ring of protection, and I would want what's the monk item? The amulet of mighty fists. And this is another thing that I would need to talk to my game master about. But I feel like if I took an amulet of mighty fists, I enchant it with ghost touch, that should solve my only doing half damage problem. If it didn't, maybe we could work something else out, or frankly, just start throwing additional dice of damage down on my punches. Figure something out. It's not a big deal. So for feats, again, I took another extra evolution. You can do that at 5th level. And I took Crane Style. Basically, I can fight defensively more effectively, and if I do fight defensively, I get additional bonus to my AC. So that's that. We'll pull up my Eidolon so you can see the new ability that I took. Natural magic attacks. My natural attacks are magic. So if I slam someone, it overcomes DR magic. Given that I'm not doing that much damage in the first place, that seemed like a pretty good place to do that. And I will probably at 10, 15, and 20 spend more feats on extra evolution to pick up additional features as time goes on. So that I still have a 50% mischance built into my character. I can deflect arrows now. Flurry of blows, I can get 2 attacks at +3, which is pretty good. My Eidolon still only has 11 hit points, but I have a lot more hit points now. I have 29 hit points. So, also I can spend a point of ki to add 4 to my AC or to increase my to hit. Make me run faster. Monk gives me all kinds of options. So, I'm not 100% that this is the absolute 100% best tank, but I really, really like that inherent passive 50% mischance. One of the other things I would want to talk to my DM about on this would be the mischance is concealment based. So does that mean I'm actually difficult to see? Because if it does, I have made a really excellent foil for a rogue or a vigilante. This is why I was saying it would make more sense why I put points into stealth, right? Because if I am literally visually non-distinct, I'm going to start a lot of my combats by moving into the middle of the fight before it starts. I'm going to try to be right up in the enemy ranks when combat breaks out, and like I said, probably move those points from sense motive to intimidation so I can just start off by attempting to demoralize people or to proclaim myself the spirit of death or just make myself out to be scarier than I actually am. And then if I've got a rogue or a vigilante, they can move into position and start getting their sneak attack straight off from the first round of combat. Um, that's the best possible scenario, I think. So, um, that's it. I think that's all there is to say about this guy. Sort of an afterthought, but one of the reasons that I take Ant Hall and Compel Hostility as spells is because I only ever take one level of Summoner in this build, and that's okay. These aren't spells that are like for every level you can carry 10 additional pounds or something silly like that. I mean, the Ant Hall lasts longer if you're higher level, but it doesn't get any more effective over time, right? So that's the kind of thing I was looking for. Things that didn't scale up based on caster level. Um, that's what you want in this sort of build. So that's it. Once again, I hope these are interesting and or useful. And if you have any questions about the character, why I made decisions for this particular build, let me know, and I will endeavor to answer them.